Now, in this ways, we have come up with a program to help them that are getting out of custody, because that's the main problem that we have in this country. In every corner of the world, and more specifically the nation that we live in, I'm thinking of Kenya, for example, where I am a resident, or I am a citizen of Kenya. We have people who have been incarcerated and are out of prison in every corner of this world, every corner of this country. Be it a man, a young boy, or a young girl, be it a mother, children, we have people who are there. And in every society, we at least have somebody who has gone through incarceration. And so we developed a program on how to help these people be rehabilitated and be accepted back into the society. We came up with a program called the Yellow Ribbon Initiative, adopted from a system that worked in Singapore. And the Singaporeans calls it that the Yellow Ribbon Singapore. And this one goes with an acronym of TAP. TAP meaning that you train the person and place him. You train and place, that is TAP. And then after placing him, then you grow him. Many times when somebody has been released out of custody, out of imprisonment, maybe he has been there for 2, 3, 4 years, others have been there for 20 years. It's crazy. When they come out of custody, these are people who are used to being idle in a camp. It's like a concentration camp. And remember, when they were removed out of the society, the pain that was left in the society is still rife, is still there. But there is no program to restore them back to the society and having the impact of victims report to understand how the victim will receive this information of the restoration of the convict that has been released in time. And more often, you realize that when somebody comes back from prison, he finds that the pain that he left is still there. The wounds are still there. And so we have come up with this Yellow Ribbon Initiative adopted from the Singaporean system that really was very successful to integrate offenders into the society by making sure that before they are released into the society, first of all, the convicts or the ex-convicts must be prepared 1 year before time. So that first of all, the probation officers, the probation and aftercare service in the country should prepare the ground, the landing ground for these people. When they go to the society, they should be able to let them be aware that so and so will be released in a year's time. So if their victim is still within the environment, then they should be prepared psychologically to accept through counseling that within time there is healing. And the offenses that he has or that he caused at that time, or he got a conflict with the law, they should be told that this person has changed and he has trained in this course. So the family and the society is prepared through the structured system that has been installed in the community. And that's why we have paralegals in place in the community, we have mediators in place, we have pastors, we have chiefs, we have village elders and nyumba kumi and all that. They should all be incorporated as stakeholders to receive this person. Now, so what happens as soon as the person is taken to custody? This is our prayer, this is our initiative, this is our trial, so that we roll out in the country on how to sort out this mess of recidivism, where people come, they commit another offense and get back to prison. As soon as somebody is admitted into prison facility, the first thing that that person should do, the convict now should do, or the prison facility or authority should do to this person, is to teach him about the basics of law. Because what has caused him to reach or to be taken into captivity is that he was in conflict with law and he committed an offense by breaking the law. So, first thing that should be done on admission to a prison facility is to be taught about the offense that he committed while in the community. And so, while he has been admitted to custody, the authorities should be able to engage the legal fraternity. For example, we have justice defenders, we have the Legal Resource Foundation in the prison facility. They should take that opportunity and train them or teach them about the Constitution, the basic human rights. We need to teach them about the Criminal Procedure Code. We teach them about the Penal Code and others laws, especially that which he has been in conflict with. So the first 3 months of admission or being oriented in the prison facility should be to understand law. And when they are able now to understand the law, if it is a long-term prisoner, or if he's a long-term serving, let me still call them client, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, immediately after a 3 months training or teaching on law, they should be now allocated to other prison training facility. And that's why the name prison should be eliminated. And we call them correctional or rehabilitation centers and training. Correctional rehabilitation centers and training facility, so that you are corrected, rehabilitated, and trained. And now it falls back to the same system of TAP, training and placing. So when you are traced, you are trained, you are placed in a place where you are able to do your certified training that you are undergone through. And so once you have been trained on law, taught on law after 3 months, then the authorities, currently called prisons, should be able to transfer you to a facility that offers the training that you want to do. For example, if an institution offers agricultural training, then you should be sent to that facility to train or to be certified, to go through that process so that you understand agriculture. Farming. If you are a carpenter, you should be transferred to a prison facility that offers that facility, because prisoners are transferred anyhow. Now, during this time of when this program has been initiated for training, then the stakeholders in this should be involved so that we don't certify them using the prison's certification, because nobody in every institute in this world that operates will ever give you a job having known that you are out of prison, or whether you trained there, they are not ready to. Even if it is against the law for segregation, yes, then they will create another reason to keep you off. And therefore, we really urge, or we are trying to make sure we bring forth other institutions like TVETs to send or offer a training facility to prisons, institutions, or rehabilitation. So that if, for example, ZTEC offers digital and electronic training or computer training in their institutions, they do extend also become stakeholders in training in the rehabilitation centers. If an institution like Kenyatta University, like Kenya Polytechnic, and other institutions can offer themselves extending to other prison facilities to train them, and as soon as they qualify, they are certified, then it is the same institution, not prison, it's the same institution that organizes for a graduation to offer them that certificate, so that when they come out, they are carrying a certificate for an institution that is recognized and accredited. Then they are able to participate in the society. During this process, when the person, the convict, has finished the course, because we have those who have short-term courses, a year courses, or because if a convict has been in custody for 3 years, for example, there is nothing wrong if he can do law in custody through the Law Society of Kenya. And then he graduates as long as he has the accreditation or the qualifications to do law. If not, then they can train him for paralegal service. Those options are there. If somebody is in custody for 10 years, 15 years, there is no need for him to go there digging grounds or just staying idle. There are programs that are instituted so that he can come out with a degree so that he can be useful to the society. So it is important that it is made mandatory that every convict that gets into custody must go through that system and procedure for him to come out with quality substance. If he has gone there for 1 year, 2 years, there is carpentry, short courses, and he should learn the same. Instead of teaching convicts about CRE, English, Swahili, social studies, surely primary stuff, when you get out of custody, talking about some misamiati, vitendawili, sijui what ngeli za mwa, ngu, yi, how is that going to help you in the society, really? But if you come out with the knowledge of carpentry and with the little financing that the government can offer, you come out with your chisel, with your plane, with your saw, you can begin something small to do in the society, or be fixed in an institution, or somebody who has an established workshop. You work from there, and then you develop and build your own to generate an income. And you are brought out of your confine or your sentence sometimes before the time of release, so that the probation can manage you outside the facility. Now, after you are prepared now by training and by counseling and all that, and we also advise that this is something which I forgot, that immediately somebody is taken into custody, the government or the authority should know that this was a breadwinner, and there are people who have been left behind. So even those people who are left behind should be counseled and see how the government can help them. For example, if a father is gone to custody, on normal circumstances also, which is very nasty and unfair, is for women to be taken to custody with their children. When children grow in prison, it serves a very negative impact in their lives. And so there has to be a system on how to analyze and see if there are relatives who can handle it, because it's not a mandatory unless it's a capital offense. It's not a must for somebody to be in custody. But offenses like those of misdemeanors, 3 years and below, the woman or the mother can be subjected to non-custodial imprisonment, to be monitored and managed by authorities like chiefs, assistant chiefs, and the community. That be it, far be it, those who have been left behind also should be subjected to counseling. We have taken your breadwinner, so understand the system, how it works, and what do you here. Let the authorities, the probation and aftercare service, should be able to visit the families and ask them what they would wish could be done, so that they don't feel the absence, and therefore we have somebody in custody crying and somebody in the family also crying. We have a painful and ailing society and community. Of course, not forgetting that there's a victim who has been injured. We also know to incorporate them and if there is a possibility of reconciling the two, the authority should be able to offer that facility. And so the community must be entirely be informed, and that is why we adopted this system of the Yellow Ribbon Initiative Singapore, because it is a very successful system and it has moved the country to forge ahead, so that it reduces recidivism. People do not go back to prison because of lack of acceptance in the society. If you accept them, the government will not accept them. And I'm saying this, the most wanted criminals are not who are not wanted by their families and their community. So you must want them and love them before the DCI and the police decide to mostly want them. There is something else that is also affecting the ex-convict. This that is called the certificate of good conduct. And I have a question to do with this certificate. A certificate of good conduct or police clearance report is issued on annual basis. Now, if an offense was committed 5 years ago, 2 years ago, why should the same certificate carry an offense that doesn't make sense? If I committed an offense 5 years ago, why should you bring it on board 1 year before? Secondly, if I have come out of custody, out of prison, it is believed and accepted and certified that the time has healed me. We have rehabilitation, correction. Now I'm being reinstated and I've been trained by the prison authorities. So why again does the police come and confirm that I don't have good conduct when I am from a place which are certified that I now have good conduct? There are questions that have to be answered about this certificate. But legally, this certificate should only be used in the court of law under section 142 of the Criminal Procedure Code to prove that you have had a previous offense by the prosecution. Anybody else is not allowed to use that document. So, if it gets to a point where these documents are used to get a job, get loans, that they come up with a certificate of good conduct, that is an illegality and should be scrapped out. No Kenyan should be asked for a certificate of good conduct because it does not qualify you in any way, and nobody is allowed to expose your private details unless in a court of law. And so, for us to be able to achieve this end, we have approached or we are approaching the stakeholders, and most probably, we are simply asking for you, the person, to get us to get involved in us. Go to our website, www.flairafrica.org, and get to understand exactly what we do. We do other programs on board, and you can, when you get to our site, you will get to know more about it. And we are preaching out to the Prisons Authority, the Ministry of Internal Affairs. We are approaching the probation and aftercare service. We are also approaching the prosecution department, the judiciary, the institutions, TVETs, universities, and private entities, that we are working together to establish an amicable society. And our objective is to make sure that everybody moves towards progression, so that now when I look at you, I see you as a friend, that we are able to work together and grow together in one initiative. And I pray that with this Yellow Ribbon initiative, we are going to grow together for a better tomorrow. So shalom, and God bless you so much. Let us accept those who are coming out of custody and build each other for a better tomorrow. When they come out of custody, they come as a trained person. And let me tell you, somebody who was in prison has got perseverance, has got patience, resilience, and endurance. Because what goes on out in there in custody, none of you, very few of you can stand. It is very hard for you to insult somebody from custody. He cannot react negatively to you. Some of you, when somebody calls you a name, when somebody calls you a very nasty name, you start saying, "You can kill me, you can do whatever, you see what," and you are ready to fight. Let me tell you something. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder. When you call me a dog or an ugly person, it is your eyes that are very bad, because I don't have a problem with myself. So those of us who have gone through the system of rehabilitation, we have gone through it and we understand what it means to change in the society. So welcome on board, and let's move together on this yellow ribbon initiative.